Hey, what's happening, everyone? It's Dealer Destro back with another Modern Era G.I. Joe review. And today, for this video, we're going to be taking a look at one of the this past year, I should say, it's 2017 now, the 2016 G.I. Joe Club exclusive Joe Con offering. This is one of the figures that came in this, I keep wanting to say this last year's boxed set. For attending the convention, which was in Loveland, Colorado. Pleased to say I got a chance to meet a lot of folks that I've known for over the years on the boards, have had the pleasure of interacting with, giving each other crap about our custom work, etc. And all in all, it was a great time. So this is one of the figures that came in the box. This is the Night Vulture, and if y'all are aware with the Joe offerings in the 90s, he was part of the whole series when they issued like gliders, and they had the helicopters that like Interrogator and Altitude, and then those were the helicopter figures, and then the glider figures I want to say were Spirit, Sky Creeper, this guy, and one other, that Skymate, I think. Yeah, pretty sure it was Skymate. So anyway, so this is him, and I realize he's been spinning on there for a minute, so we'll just get right into this review here. So he came with this file card, which again, this is reminiscent of the era where they were very well written. What's odd is they say he's an Adder's trooper, and I guess that's something that the club did so that Sky Patrol would have someone to fight, because on the Joe side you got the Sky Patrol offerings, and if you remember those were where the vehicles were like had a vac metal finish. They were silver, mirrored out. All in all, pretty cool set, though I don't recall who those guys were supposed to fight in the vintage days. Because I know you had Tiger Force and then Python Patrol, and then you had like Eco Warriors. You know, you had all these like sub-teams, Mega Marines, Drug Elimination Force when the drug war was at its heights or whatever. So anyway, so this is file card. Hopefully y'all have had a chance to pause and take a look at that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this base off. I'm going to take him off the base. I'm going to put the base to the side, and then we can get right into what this guy comes with. So he came with a crossbow, and then let me see if I can't get this off, because this was kind of a, I guess it wasn't that much of a pain to put on. So we'll set him to the side for a sec. So this is what he came with in lieu of the glider, and all this is a rehashed, I want to say Dark Ninja from the Retaliation figure line. So it's a rehashed one of those, and then you got the Cobra Air Force insignia imprinted on there, and I'll tell you, that looks pretty nice. And then as opposed to like a black and red finish, I want to say, with the dragon logo, you got this purple and black, and then you got the silver and black handles, which look nice, and then these little bits that are like stapled or maybe glued into the, they're pegged into the cloth there with the ankle bracelets. So I would say if you're going to display these guys, just be very careful with this, because this is one of those things that if you rip it, it's a one and done thing. I mean, unless you're crafty with, you know, with this kind of stuff. So that's that. Comes with this crossbow, which looks pretty good. I want to say the original one came with a purple crossbow, and it was just literally like, and it had a handle, whereas this one has like the nice tactical stock. It's got a scope. So this is a really nice accessory, so can't complain too much there. And then as far as the figure, 2-peg Cobra stand, which I like, and then that's what he looks like. And it should be noted that he has the 25th anniversary Snake Eyes daggers that come off the chest, and I guess that's a nice feature. I want to say the old one, I keep it like this, but I want to say the old one may have had the blades facing down with the handles up top, but just, you know, because of how this figure is or whatever, I chose to go that route. Now, looking at this figure, you got the Cobra Retaliation head, which I would have, I'm a customizer, and really, it never occurred to me to try to do a Night Vulture custom, but I guess now that I look at this figure and have it in hand, It would have been fairly easy to accomplish. I mean, you just would have had to sacrifice a 25th Snake Eyes version 3, I think. It's the one where he had the tactical headgear. You know which one I'm talking about. The one that came with the cross daggers on his chest. So you would have had to sacrifice one of those, a retaliation trooper for the head, and I'm not sure if these were the 25th Snake Eyes lower legs. If they were, I apologize, but I know these from the Alley Viper. So if it was one of those things where they were reused, oh, actually that might be, no, I think this whole thing is the 25th Snake Eyes. So anyway, so that aside, offhand, I'm not sure where this web gear is from. This might be new for the convention, but nonetheless, any web gear would have done. Maybe this was, looks like this might have been used before. Maybe this came with like Airborne in the 25th run or something. I don't know. Offhand, I don't know, but I would say all of these parts were used at some point. So anyway, so as far as a club offering, I will say this. This is a nice figure. This is very well done. Albeit it has minimal areas that needed painting, because I want to say this was probably molded, because when you open up the leg, I think you can take these off. These pouches here, sorry. The orange paint, which orange is a very difficult color to work with, so I'll give them the fact that they did this where it is applied very well. They stayed in the line. Whoever was on shift, money. Like, I wish they had a QC pass thing, like I said in earlier videos, so I know who to give shout outs to. Like, hey, 14, you did good work. 32, you did good work. 17, we got some coaching opportunities here for you. So anyway, so nonetheless, as I'm looking at this figure, like, I never really looked at these like in much detail. This is kind of one of those times where I was just like, I was still like, let's just go ahead and put it on the shelf. But here, yeah, that's painted. That's painted. The fact that that's painted there, that's nice. They didn't have to do that, because, I mean, literally they could have just skimped by with just, putting the web gear on like we're used to seeing. Grenades and arm straps are painted well. The gauntlets are painted nice. The hands are your standard issue G.I. Joe hands. That's pretty much, that's all the articulation that's included. So what else do I have to say about this figure? As far as, okay, so the boots are painted very nice, and that looks really good. As far as, I'll just get these out of the way. As far as articulation goes, it's pretty much the same as the Snake Eyes. So you get up to there, you get the field goal. It's good position with no problems. And then the elbow joint is nice. It's not impeded or anything like that, so you do get a full elbow bend. I want to say on both sides. This one kind of flares out a little bit because of the sculpt. So, but anyway, that's not really that big of a deal. You'll be able to achieve whatever inbound aerial pose you want out of these guys. Again, figure incorporates the double knee. However, because of the sculpting, that's pretty much all you're going to get, and it flares out. So, and I think that's because of how this joint is as well. This isn't a very big knee joint, but it works nonetheless. Needless to say, it does work nonetheless. So coming down to the feet, that's what you get. You get down, you do get a little bit of up, and then you do get a good side-to-side motion there. Again, you get the full wrist rotation there. I will say this sculpt or this mold, for as old as it is, still looks really good. It really does. It still holds up. What was it, even 9 years after the fact? This thing still holds up, which is pretty impressive, because, and again, if you even want to go further back, I mean, this was based on a design that came out in the mid to late 80s. So the fact that it still holds up, I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to just say that this Joe design has definitely withstood the test of time. Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy geared up, and then we'll be back to give a final verdict on it. So here he is again, all geared up with his accessories and whatnot. I guess what it comes down to is Is this a recommended figure? Well, just depends. If you're a fan of what they were doing in the 90s and during this era, might be worth having one in your collection. But if you're not a club member, and I think the last time I looked in the store, the whole box set was still available for like high 300s, maybe four. I don't remember, but you know, if you're a fan of the Sky Patrol, if you're a fan of this figure and everyone else that came with him, which I'll probably be doing some videos on those guys as well. I decided to do a video on him because I really liked this figure as a kid, and I think that, you know, his updated offering it was worth doing a video on. But do I recommend the figure? Yeah, I bought extras because I think you get like 3 in the set. So I went out and I pursued extras, you know, while I was at the show. I'm an army builder, so I just do that by nature. But if you're looking for one, you could probably pick this guy up on the cheap. I'm thinking like between 20 and 30 bucks. Anything over 30 is really pushing it because, again, we're talking about 4-inch figures, and I get it, very limited run, very, you know, towards a targeted audience. Like you had to be a member to get access to buy these at MSRP. And I mean, even at MSRP, if you break it down for what you pay for the box set, I think this figure still comes out at close to 30 bucks, if not just maybe a couple dollars over. So anyway, all that aside, yeah, I think it's a solid figure, even though we're reusing existing parts and there really isn't anything new here. I guess if you want to get technical, that's new with some pretty awesome artwork. But outside of that, there is nothing new here. So I would say if these are hovering at over 30, it might be a pass. Again, it just depends on what your heart of hearts tells you and if you were a fan of Joe's from this era. So that's all I got for this one. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in, watching my videos. Hope you like what you're seeing. We'll have more videos on the way. So till next time, catch you guys on the flip side.